If I ask the presence, is it freedom from? I could feel it winking at me. Ask a silly question.
Come on! Woo! Snick! Good morning!
Welcome back.
We're gonna do something different today.
Today, we got a suggestion from a subscriber of 3 months or something. Has some really cool comments. Their name is Thought DNA. I like that.
I like that a lot.
But they were like, hey guys, you know, I love that you're going into these Eastern traditions, all about it, but I think we need to wrap a little West in there too. And we said, yes, please. So this is someone named John Butler. He's a Christian mystic.
John Van Dalen? Is this your alter ego? This guy's thumbnails and titles are incredible.
Yes.
We'll show a little, like a clip
scroll or something.
A scroll or something. Just look at these thumbnails and titles. This is a treasure trove. If this guy is good. So,
but we haven't listened to him.
We haven't
yet.
listened to him at all.
So let's find out what's about to happen.
Yeah. Because if it's good, this is someone we'll keep coming back to.
Yeah. The title is Beware of Butt.
Jesus.
Let's go.
What are we? Oh!
Yeah.
Look at him.
I'm a fan.
This is a peaceful life.
Good afternoon again. If I've got rather a puzzled look on my face, it's because I've been asked to talk about freedom.
Yes! This is a joyous man! He's in the woods! Can he give me a hug? I want a hug!
It's everything.
It's everything.
It's everything.
It goes beyond words.
Let's go.
How could... This is what I... This is better.
He goes, if I have a confused look on my face, it's because I've been asked to talk about
It
freedom.
looked like he was still smiling, though.
Freedom?
Freedom.
But then the question goes on to make what might have been very simple very complicated, because it says, is it freedom from or freedom to? Which makes me think. Now then, how am I going to answer this one? Well,
I love it.
the answer to every question is to come back into the present. Here and now, feet on the ground, and find this one. Utterly simple, beyond all question, presence. So if I don't try to answer it, which would be a silly thing to do, because I don't know, if I ask the presence, is it freedom from? I could feel it winking at me. Ask a silly question.
Come on! Woo! Yes, indeed. I believe we've found an enlightened teacher who is of pale skin. Who would have thought? Move aside, Wim Hof.
Move aside, Eckhart Tolle. we found
Gandalf.
Dude, when have you ever heard a spiritual teacher do that? Just go, say what he's doing in order to come to truth.
That's a cool part, because I think a lot of people create a bit of a shroud of mystery around it. I think some people do that because they don't, like, say, Jiddu Krishnamurti, because they don't want you to become attached to how it's happening. But this is stated so plainly that there's no... It's almost as if, wow, I can't even put into words, obviously, how this man is making me feel.
It's good.
This is...
I'll tell you.
Just joyous stillness incarnate.
The snake approves.
Snick.
Snake approves.
Snick approves.
All right, let's go.
Oh, also. goes, says the very common thing of, like, return to the present.
Yeah.
But then he says feet on the ground.
I didn't catch that.
I liked that a lot.
Oh.
He said feet on the ground. Practice you can try that has been helpful to me. Whenever you get stuck in your mind a bit and you recognize that and you're like, well, how do I get out? A practice that I've been trying is bring as much awareness as you can to the bottom of your feet. Especially if you're barefoot. Usually, I've noticed this, like, the more I walk barefoot, my feet are just joyous.
Get barefoot.
Yeah, get barefoot.
It's big.
Just do it. It's big. It's all the rage.
It's
big.
everything.
It's everything.
People thought shoes were everything.
No.
All right.
I got 2 shoes right now. Look at them.
Thought I was about to get kicked in the face.
Never.
All right.
I would never.
Freedom from, well, I suppose I quite could say it's freedom from complications, isn't it? Freedom from questions.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Utter simplicity. It's rather like light, isn't it? Is light from? Light from what? Darkness, but does light know what darkness is? You see, really, in oneness, there's no from and no to, is there? Which is just duality. It's from here to there, from you to me, from bondage to freedom. And bondage no more exists for freedom than darkness does to light. You know, I get no end of questions saying, what about evil? You know, how can you possibly stand there and say, you know, and be dismissive of evil, this terrible coronavirus thing, which of course is man that labels it as terrible. In freedom, all these questions of here and there, this or that, from or to, just melt away, because you see, freedom is, look, just look at me standing here, and if you can, just go beyond my words and, you know, the look of me, and just sense the stillness, the presence. Now, far down in the valley, I can hear some distant cars on the main road, and just somewhere overhead, there's a bird twittering. Well, these things don't intrude on the stillness because the stillness contains them all. The stillness contains everything. Even all the bombs in the world can go off and it doesn't shake the stillness a bit. The peace is utterly undisturbed. And no matter if all the chains in the world were clanking up the path, freedom just is freedom.
I feel like I need to throw up.
This is going to be a low quality reaction.
But a high quality teacher. Dude.
There was a good 35 seconds there where I was purely feeling and I did not hear a word he said. But then there were other times where I heard the words he said and it was incredible.
Dude,
this man is on shrooms. Deep.
He's just... What teacher have you ever heard in a video go, look at me, feel the stillness? It's like every teacher that I've seen who has a camera pointed at them, maybe in person they would do something like that, but with the camera pointed at them is constantly talking. Or like poetically talking with nice pauses and stuff like that. But this was just
raw.
He goes, take this platform of YouTube, of a video, and just punch my freaking hand through it.
Yeah. 'Cause,
dude, I'm in love.
I want more. I don't care if you like this. We're going to keep reacting to this man until all of eternity.
Until you like it.
Wow!
Jesus.
Oh my gosh. I need like a proper lens to view reality through now. There it is.
There it is.
And how can freedom go anywhere? Because where can it go? Freedom's everywhere. You can't.
We have Ramana Maharshi as our inspiration today. For those of you who don't know, we put our YouTube videos up because we have a big monitor on half the screen. The other half is our inspiration for the day.
Yes.
Today, it's a little tiny, cute little picture of Ramana Maharshi. This man just said, Butler just said, the freedom is everywhere. Where could it go? When Ramana Maharshi was dying, all of his supporters were saying, no, don't leave us. And he said, don't be silly. Where could I go? Don't be silly. Where could I go? Where could the freedom go?
Dude, earlier when he said all the bombs in the world could go off and stillness would still be there because those things are within stillness.
Yes.
Stillness is not within those things.
Yes.
Like...
Yes.
Oh my lord.
Yes. Wait. Another, I think, Ramana Maharshi thing.
Okay.
He was saying that when someone asked him about what can you do about the war going on, there was like a war going on in Japan or something at the time when this question was asked. His response was something to the tune of, is the war happening inside of you? Because you can let the war happen inside of you. Or you can let it not exist inside of you. Because this, I'm ready to share this now. Oh. This is something that has come, it literally is a line that keeps replaying in my mind. I hope I can pull it up. And it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And I don't know why, but I need to share it. The extent to which you are resistant to something is the extent to which it will be manifested into the world. That's just a line. Do with it what you wish, but the line has literally been swimming in my head for the last week. Not my idea. Yeah.
Can't be free to. That's not freedom. That's still bondage to some idea of attainment. Real freedom is sufficient unto itself. It just is freedom. And then all these attachments of the world, all these things that men carry around in their heads, well, they're just things men carry around in their heads. And freedom's completely unaffected. You know. Just listen. You know, the real teacher is not me or any other, you know, you know, all the contemporary people that are putting out videos and things. The real teacher is this. It's this presence, the Spirit. This is the real teacher. And really any worthwhile teacher endeavours to point to this. And all you've really got to do is just rather ignore my words and just, if you can, just sense the way that I, standing here, am in presence. And I can never not be in presence any more than a fish cannot be in the sea. Or the sun cannot be in the sky. Or that you and I cannot be in what we call God's hand. So, question answered, is it?
I feel like I've only attained presence really like once. Maybe like 2-3 times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Each time it punches me that you can't try to be present.
Ah, yes.
That there's nothing to work to. And hearing him just go, I can't not be present, just like a fish can't not be in the water. Just like the sun can't not be in the sky. Like, Ramana Maharshi says a similar thing, you know, where it's like this idea of that's why it's called realization, not like level up, not higher consciousness. It's realizing that it's just there.
And you've always been there.
And you've always
Somehow.
been there.
Somehow.
In some strange way. This man.
Another thing that Ramana says, he says...
This guy's giving me big Ramana vibes.
Yeah.
And it might be because we have Ramana on the other side of the screen.
There was a reason why we put him up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that he says is... There's this interesting thing that goes on where attaining that state, realizing yourself is what he would call it, is effortless.
Mm-hmm.
The attainment of that state. But getting there, he says, this is the interesting thing, getting there does take effort. Somehow. A certain amount of effort. But you see this man, effortless. it's effortless. It's flowing. It's like water. And it is so still. This man has nowhere to be. He has nothing to do. Nothing to prove. Nothing. Look at his getup.
Come on now.
Let me come back to that point about evil, you see, which many people, ask really terribly serious questions about, well, what about all these things that go on in the world, depending on their social, political attitude, they often pick out, different things. Well, without trying to enter into the ins and outs of these things, which isn't always very profitable, once again, just be present. And if you can, just let go for a moment. This identity, this attachment you probably have to some aspect of life that you find displeasing. And just sense that in presence, there's no criticism of it, no judgment of it, no dismissing of it. It's perfectly valid, it's perfectly okay for you to have these ideas, but presence itself is completely unaffected. Just like the sky is unaffected. And standing here now, the whole background of grass and ferns and trees and leaves and things is completely unaffected by whatever ideas I may have in my mind.
Sunlight over me no matter what I do.
Nice.
Yes. I read this amazing book one time. It was called The Overstory. And there was a big arcing story for like 30 pages of this. And it was talking about this family, and the family took a chestnut tree, which was like the chestnuts were dying throughout the east coast of America. And this was like, and they brought it to Ohio or something, planted the chestnut tree. And it's going through all of the generations of people that are living next to this chestnut tree in a house. And then there's this story of like all the people one night in a tragic accident die. And the last thing is the main character at the time stumbling out, falling down under the tree, dying because of like a gas leak or something. And then it says, and it looked up and the tree, like the person died, and the tree had been there that whole time and is continuing after the death, just there. All of these tragic events were happening. Not even tragic, it was just all of these happenings were happening, and the tree is just there. Despite all of it, regardless of all of it. The whole world can be crashing down inside of you, and you look around and the birds are still chirping. What is that?
Last night, I was in such a bad mood for a bit. During Sagaru's full moon flirtations, I was like meditating that and getting so like in my head.
Wow.
And immediately after, I just like walked out of the room, went outside, laid down, was still just like in my head until I just said, well, I like rode this thing for so long.
Yeah.
Until I was like, well, that's a lot of drama.
Oh, did you say it out loud?
Yeah.
So good.
And then it was like this,
so
just like a weight had dropped.
Yes, I know that feeling. It feels incredible. Yeah.
It's like, dude. But yeah, then outside there was a tree falling across the street. And after I said that, there was like this big crack. And I looked like into the trees. And then it just became a thing that like every 30 seconds there'd be like another loud crack as like this tree just leaned on others and more and more. And I was just like sitting there all of a sudden, just like amazed at that. after having the world collapse in my mind.
So,
Dude.
It's we that create these identities in our minds. What's in it for me? What threatens me? And me is that which is not present. That's why things appear evil to us, because they appear to threaten me.
That's going to get us a fat stamp.
of approval. Universal bars.
What was it? Oh, me is that which is not present.
Yeah, and me can be threatened. Me is gonna pipe up every time there's a attack on the me, and it says, "I'm the real one. You're gonna die." But the thing that dies is not you.
It's me.
So what?
And that builds up into fear, and fear leads to aggression. But come back to this simplicity of standing here. Just be present. And all these fires that burn so fiercely in our breasts, they just die down.
Jiddu Krishnamurti line that I loved. He says, when you have this fire burning in your chest, whatever emotion it is, something like that, the observer, the full observance of it, is to observe it, watch how it flowers up and goes away.
So good. Also makes me think about how Sadhguru's flirtation last night was on fire. The whole thing, he's talking about the difference between controlled fire and uncontrolled fire, but how that's all our perception. It's like we're all trying to control the fire, but what is controlled fire and what is uncontrolled fire? Because fire, in ecological terms, fire just creates more life than was there before. Fire is like a very natural thing that occurs, and we'd call that an unnatural fire. That's something that in the west of the United States, the western fires we try to control all the time, but that just makes the fires bigger and bigger and bigger for certain reasons. And that's just our resistance to the fact that fire is natural. Fire is a creator of life. And it goes and goes and goes.
Reminds me of a Zach Bush line.
Yeah.
Where he says, after every, what's it called when everything on Earth dies? Extinction. After every extinction event, life has come back far more diverse than before it.
And it never came back the same.
So it's like this fire, this destruction is actually a seed.
Back to
It's just the play of the mind, the comic tragedy, drama of the mind.
Drama.
And when we wake up, in other words, come into the present, it just dies down like the flames of a fire. And I'll offer you another little bit of advice that was given to me many years ago. The next thing many of you will say is, but what about? And the wise man that told me said, beware of the word but. But.
This is why I wanted us to do this one. Because the word, before he goes into it, I'll just say what my interpretation of this is. I have been experiencing people saying but in a situation, or I'll say but in a situation where I'm not comfortable with a contradiction existing. Like, someone will say, my boss just said recently, it was like some sort of story. This is the only thing I can think of right now. It was a story where he was like, oh, this person that I know, she's so nice and loving and gentle. And the way he was saying it, you could tell that a but was coming. It was as if we were just running through those compliments just so we could get to the second thing and not feel bad about it. It was so nice and loving and gentle, but she's so gullible. Why not both? Why not gentle and loving and caring, and she's so gullible? How great. The whole thing's great, you know? There doesn't need to be
the whole thing.
Yeah, there doesn't need to be a contradiction in there. There's no but. There's no positive but also negative. It's like positive, negative. What do you think that is? What is that? Positive, negative? Get out of here.
Another thought on but is that but is the thing that so often has hindered me from action. From doing, because you think about like an intuition, like, and you're somewhere, you see someone, doesn't matter, male, female, whatever, and you're just attracted to them, and you're like, and then like a line pops into your head to say to someone. This happened the other night at the party. I saw this person, and this thought came to my mind of like, I need to walk up to her and tell her, how do you know that you're not dreaming right now?
Whoa, that's cool.
But then but comes. And but is this the invisible connection police.
Yes. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the invisible connection police, but
They're bad.
they're bad.
I guess they're not bad or good. They're just butt. But the invisible connection police is like this feeling that's there that stops you from having these connections or whatever.
Yes.
So when this list of butts comes up of why you shouldn't.
The invisible connection police.
Yeah, use that one with your friends.
That's such a
Let's
good
make
one.
it a thing.
Yeah.
Like when you can't hug someone because you're like, oh, I want to give Mitch a hug right now.
Yeah.
But we're two males from America.
That's the invisible connection police.
So dap me up, bro. I'll give you a hug.
Very good.
So let's see what he has to say about butt. Now that we've shared two thoughts on butt.
Is the devil. So my friend, but is the devil.
Oh.
So my friends, when you hear yourself saying but, beware. I, me, mine, and but, 4 words which you'll do well to be wary of.
I, me, mine, and butt. Dude.
There are a few more jewels where that came from. Yes, but the mother of argument, isn't it? And hence duality. And the slippery slope into outer darkness, and ever more confusion. More and more of less and less. So, any more questions? Let's come back to this stillness. No wonder they suggest that we rest in stillness. And Jesus says, "Come unto me, all ye who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Rest from all these burdens that we carry around with us, all these questions. What if, but rest, my dears. Peace. Unchanging peace be with you now and forevermore. Amen. God bless you, dears. Bye-bye. Until tomorrow.
Much love.
Much love.